What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we have the SRPNT X3 and I wanted to go out and do a ride and show you guys how this thing performs. If you haven't already and you bought one of these bikes and you want to know how to put it together, go ahead and click up in the corner and you can watch the box to dirt video on this bike. Let's discuss a couple quick things before we go ride. This bike that you see right here is 10 kilowatts. The bike that you order will be 13 kilowatts, which will have a lot more torque, which means it'll get to top speed a lot quicker. And that 13 kilowatts is peak power. One thing I love about SRPNT is that they listen to their customers and they listen to their dealers. So over the last year and a half, they have taken and updated the X3 in multiple different ways to get to the bike that they currently have for sale now. And that is the bike you would order today. While they have been updating this a bunch throughout the last year, they've told me that the bike that you see at 13 kilowatts is how the bike is going to be for at least the next year. So if you have any questions on if there's any new updates for any bikes, including this one, always reach out to us at revrides.com/contact. The 13 kilowatt version is the bike that you're gonna see for at least the next year, and I think you're gonna enjoy it. So let's get into the riding. The SRPNT X3 is a great all-around bike. From trails to streets, it will take you everywhere you wanna go. The large auto darkening display makes it very easy to read any information you're looking for. It also has a bright 3-stage headlight. It has great DOT emoto brakes that have great modulation and will get you stopped in no time. This bike has a 13 kilowatt peak output to take you through any terrain you desire. So today we are riding the SRPNT Moto by Throne. Now, some people just call this the Throne. This bike technically has a name. It's called the X3. Before we get started, I wanted to notate one thing. You will notice when you power this up at times, it will show a little error. So if you notice this error came up when you went to go ride, it's because I had the brake on. So if I release the brake, that goes away. So don't have any fear if you notice that immediately when you start up. This little thing is showing that your brake lights are working. All right, so let's get into riding. Right now I'm just in eco mode. It tops out at 18 miles per hour. So you can kind of go along with the laws in your area. Now when you go off-road, you can go from there. I'm gonna pop her into drive. It's just one tap of the yellow button, and if you tap it again, it goes into hyper. All right, I'm out on a trail, just cruising around, and this is what I suspect at least half you guys are doing, is out just exploring, cruising your neighborhoods, and then the rest of you guys are either out doing hoodlum stuff on the streets. Shouldn't be doing that. Remember, could get towed, or you're out on a track doing some dirt riding. We're just gonna do some urban riding, some trails, a couple little back roads and stuff like that, hit some parks, and just see what we like, what we don't like, and give you some information on the SRPNT. So I noticed I was in kilometers. I wanted to show you, if you just tap the S, it changes between the two. And then if you tap the M, it goes to your trip. So I've only been out here today for 1 mile. And then also this little light here, this is where the sensor is, so it will change from day to night, but it's automatic. So you can notice it changes back. But it's a beautiful day here in Arizona. It's 88 degrees. Later in the video, I will go over a top speed speed run at 100%, show you guys how fast this thing goes. One thing to note is this is the White Savage and it's 10 kilowatts. The new bikes that we have on our website, which is like the Grape Crush, we have a red that's a matte red, the black and blue, and then a gray with like the gold accents. It now has more power. So over the last year, Throne, which is who owns Serpent, that's why it's powered by Throne, they have gone above and beyond to make this bike excellent. And I am really impressed. Going from riding all the most recent bikes, this bike, bang for buck in the $5,000 price range, this bike is rad. There are obviously tons of competitors in its class. This thing stands out with a bunch of different things. So it has this headlight that is like kind of Tron-esque. You know, you have your headlights. It's really hard to see right now, but you can see it's obviously brighter. You have a high and low beam. You have an option for blinkers front and rear. So you can see the tail light is on and you have a brake light. So that's pretty killer. So the ability to make this potentially street legal, depending on where you live, is very high. You already have wiring for blinkers built in. So if you look right here, you can see it's already blinking there. So all you have to do is install the blinker kit. We're gonna have those on our website. So it just kind of makes it all plug and play. You just need to get a license plate mount with a license plate light, get it registered in your area. It has the reflectors to keep it legal. So this bike is really cool looking. You got the big brakes, which all the new Emoto brands are moving to. It has your chain guide, which actually doesn't slap around like some of the other bikes. So it's actually pretty quiet. It's metal and it's plastic. So the plastic is right here, the guide that goes around the chain. And it is a 428 chain, so you don't have to worry about it stretching as much as a 420 chain. Another cool feature is your direct mount is adjustable front and back, so that's pretty awesome. And I would say, honestly, out of all the DOT brakes, I like these master cylinders the most. So I've seen all the reviews, or at least a ton of them on this bike. There isn't much out, and nobody is really talking about the brakes, the little bit of updates. You know, before it didn't have a direct mount stem, it didn't have the bigger brakes, it didn't have the 428 chain. And when you see the top speed this thing goes, you're gonna look at all the other competitors and go, wait, why do none of those go that speed on GPS? And yes, make sure that you're getting all the proper information. Just because the speedo says it doesn't mean it's actually going that speed. Man, this thing just rips. Let's go over the controls really quick. You have your parking brake, right? So when that's on, your little 015 comes on, you turn it on, and it goes. So you'll notice there's this little error, which is telling you the switch is off, and then that's your actual error code. So you just click that and it goes back. This is your little throne lights, so it's these and then the puddle lights that shine on the ground. We have off, running lights, and on. Then over here we have the high and low beam. And then one cool thing this thing has is press this, full throttle, you go backwards, and it rips backwards. I think it varies upon what mode you're in. Let's see. Nope, it just moves backwards really quick. And then you have your eco, drive, and hyper mode. You just press it and it goes up and down. Doesn't go forward and back, it just goes all the way around. And then you have neutral, park, reverse as the other one. So R, reverse, and then we have park, which is going to be this button, and the kickstand. I think the kickstand's still on. Yeah, once the kickstand goes up, it goes into ride. But yeah, we have trip miles, your battery level, your amps that you're pulling, and then your negative amps that's regenning back. All right, it's top speed time. So I'm gonna try and stay in this position so you guys can see the speedometer and the GPS speed on the iPhone. This is one of the newest iPhones, so it's very accurate and it's connected to quite a bit of GPS. Right now I'm under a tree, so it shows 51%, but when I was on my way here, it was in 90-something%. So I have a nice closed road in Mexico. You know, these are the police right here blocking the road off, making sure people don't come. So let's go ahead, and we're in Eco, Drive, Hyper. Right after this Hyper run, I'll go through the speeds and the accelerations of the other modes. So let's just go ahead and get right into it. Double check and let's go. Ooh, okay. Let's try that again. Jeez, this thing has torque. All right, so I had to cross a street there, so I had to slow down for a split second. But as you can see, I hit 59 miles per hour, and I'm not sure what the speedo read, but yeah. Okay, so let's go down to Eco, and you press the button and it'll cycle through. So Eco is obviously very low and slow. So it looks like we're capped at 18. Let's hit drive. All right, so good news. Doesn't look like the drive mode is limited at all. And I just want to also notate I'm at 96%. So it was fully charged when I did this. I am currently 241 pounds. I'm 6'3", and I was sitting up the whole time. If I would have gotten into a tuck, I probably could have gotten that 60, 61 mile per hour. The PMSM motor has a smaller size, so the motor is actually more compact. So therefore it has a higher power density, which means smaller, more compact, and a lot more torque, and it delivers that torque smoothly. The meaning of PMSM is permanent magnet synchronous motor. And if you're wondering what case and mount I have, it's Rockform. It's listed on our website. I won't go into it, but it's an amazing product. Definitely get yourself one. This is probably 5 years old, and it's just a bicycle mount. Another thing I've noticed is it's just very quiet. But man, this thing at 20-some miles per hour, it almost wants the wheelie. I bet with enough bounce you could. Let's put it in hyper. I bet it will. Oh yeah, easy. The throttle is not very sensitive. It has a good deadband, so when you're riding, you know, when you're riding on bumps and stuff, your hand is kind of moving back and forth, right? So for this to have a good deadband and a smooth throttle is just great. It's not twitchy. The brakes are awesome. Stoppies, yeah. So what way do you guys want to see us build this? I feel like this is more of like an urban killer where it's great for everything. Oh, the suspension is good. This is cool. Let's see if we can get that and absorb it. Oh yeah. This KKE suspension's actually not bad. I did not expect that. Ooh. And if you guys know me, and you know my last build, the E-Ride Pro, I powder coated it all white, so I thought, why not get the White Savage and just start off white? Okay, so it doesn't say anything about motorized vehicles or anything, so this is cool. Go. I'm gonna respect people and just go slow and not super fast. Hello. So the build quality on this is just great. There's no complaints from me at all. I've already chat with them about their warranty. It's really great. I've chat with Ike, the owner, about future plans and future bikes mainly. You know, they have teased this NV6 bike, which NV is 9 in Roman numerals and 6, so it's the 96 because it's 96 volts. So it's a lot bigger bike. They're trying to get under 280, and then so that bike should be pretty cool. So a great quiet motor, great torque delivery. Man, this thing is just good. So let's go over some things that I don't like about this. And it's kind of a things I don't like about a lot of e-motos. So it's not really a downside to this bike. The biggest thing I dislike are the tires. They don't last very long. They're very soft, and most e-motos come stock with these CST tires. I get why they do it because they're affordable. The other things that I don't like is this little drop down on the rear fender. I feel like it should just be straight. That's it. And this should just be moved to here. That's dumb, right? It's not anything super crazy. And I'm indifferent on the light, meaning I'm not for it or against it. I think it's cool. I think it would actually be best if it was the color of the bike. I think I might wrap it to see if I like it. And the front fender, sorry, it's just not attractive. Considering it's really narrow at the front part, I feel like it'll probably get mud flung past it. The taillight I'm also not a big fan of, just the square. It's kind of, I mean, it's fine. It does its job. It's bright, everything. I just like things to have a little bit more style to it. Also, it's in a place where it can get caked with mud. I feel like it needs to be kind of more up this way or right up under here, and it would be great because it would get less mud on it for, you know, nighttime trail riding and stuff like that. But yeah, that's really the things I don't like. It actually has some really good compatibility. Sur-on foot pegs. I'm pretty sure the width of the foot pegs are the same as a E-Ride Pro. I'm going to measure that and verify, so you should be able to put the Warp 9 adjustable foot peg mounts on this. I have a set of Talaria ones. I think the bolt pattern's off. I think this is a Sur-on style, which means the E-Ride and the Sur-on. So things that I absolutely love is the fact that it comes in a color. That's awesome. The fact that I don't have to spend an entire day, which is half a day taking it apart, half a day putting it all back together, and then spending extra money to power coat it. That is awesome. The other thing that I think is killer is this. And I wish I would have remembered because I brought a stupid bag, but I could put my Osmo Pocket in here. I could put gloves. You could probably put a small drink, small Pepsi or Coca-Cola can in here. I don't know if I would do a can, but you can put quite a bit of stuff in there. The seat stays on really well, so that's great. It's built good as well. Looks like by a company that is the same company as the battery. I don't know if that's a BOCC. Looks like it's a BOCC. 38.4 amp hour, 0.44 amp hours. This plug is rad. It locks it in place. It's just a good plug. I think that a lot more companies need to use this style. I think Higo plugs, something like that. I know a lot of stuff, but not everything, guys. Other thing I love is honestly the power. It's that sweet spot. Now, if you're riding with a bunch of buddies that have faster bikes, sure, you want to go faster, but in all, riding this, going 60 miles per hour, tell me another bike that actually does 60 miles per hour out of the box that is at this price point. The swing arm is pretty good too. It doesn't have a lot of deflection or flex. I mean, look, it does not want to move. And I think a part of it is because of this linkage and how it's set up. So the linkage is a lot like a Talaria, and I would love the factory Talaria pieces and see if it works or potentially raises the geometry or anything like that. If you've tried that, drop it in the comments below. Also, I'm going to put a link to a SRPNT Moto Facebook group down below, so feel free to go and join us and, you know, talk about all the things that you've done to your bike or have any questions. With aftermarket parts, you can obviously run stem locks, direct mount stems, handlebars, different grips, all sorts of different things. All the front fenders are the same, and I think that this is kind of the next bike that's going to be taken on by the aftermarket. I'm going to try and see if we can make a EBMX controller fit on this. One thing they're saying is that it may not work because of a few different things and angles and stuff like that, so I'll get on them about that. I'll talk to VTB controllers about it as well. You do have a steering lock, so if you're using this to commute or go places, at least you'll have an ability to lock it. I would highly suggest a hip lock. We have them on our website. Go get over there, buy one of those. It takes like 7 cutting blades just to cut through one side of the U-bolt. You definitely should have a heavy duty beefy lock when you lock your bike up somewhere, and you should lock your bike up wherever you go because these are super light. But we're not done riding, so let's go. The sensitivity on hyper is a lot more from the rip, so just note that. Very stable at speed, that's one thing I'm noticing. You know, there's no rim lock, so something on a couple of the other bikes have rim locks stop. They cause the rear wheel to just ratchet and just bounce like crazy. So far I'm pretty impressed with the discharge and the range of this bike. I think I started with 5 miles because little movie magic secret, I did the speed run first. Tricked you guys. I mean, for this type of riding, it's great. Oh yeah. Drive into hyper. I really like the sensitivity on drive. Just doesn't have quite enough. I mean, it'll be good, but look at this. Somebody's asking me about Ultra Bs. Never not working. I mean, look at this. Look how torquey this thing is. 13 miles an hour. And bang. That's just like a little baby bit of throttle. And this thing feels good. I am very impressed. I think this is going to be great for the market. I love this bike, man. The more I ride it, the more I like it. I am more and more impressed. It sounds cool too. It is not a slouch. I think we've gone about 15 miles and we're still at 71%. How is that even possible? This is only a 38 amp hour battery. This just has a very linear, and then right here is where it kind of feels like it goes a little bit more. That's a 60, but that's obviously not 100% accurate. You can see the speedo said 62. Who knows if that's actually real or not. So that's good. Ooh, dive bombs. I know some of you will ask, is there a regen? There is not. There's not a button, a mode, nothing like that. You do have up here this little button, which some bikes have as regen, is actually just a high beams flash. Hopefully not get hit by a golf ball. I do absolutely love living in the Phoenix area. I highly suggest it to any one of you guys. Usually the reverse of everybody's weather. So all the good weather is from October to about May, June. Whereas everybody else's good weather is June through September. Also guys, understand that riding on the sidewalk is illegal. Be a good human, don't get upset if you get a ticket for riding on the road or riding on sidewalks. Be respectful if God comes up, pulls you over. If you're on the road, use hand signals or have turn signals. Very impressed with battery life. At 61%, it looks like I've gone about 18 or so miles. Something that's absolutely great about the industry currently is there is so many bikes available. There's one for everything. Now, is this a MX dirt jumping beast that you're going and sending at 150 feet? No, that's not what this bike is made for. This is a urban, off-road, fun bike that you can use in all aspects. Can you hit the MX track? 100%. So if you think this bike is cool, if you think a different bike is cool, if you think this bike is not cool, that is completely fine. Don't let people sway your opinions because it doesn't have 25 kilowatts, it doesn't have 45 amp hour battery or 55 amp hour battery. Think of how you're gonna ride, buy the bike that's best suited for you. Most of us do not need a bike that is more than 10 to 12 kilowatts or more than 15 kilowatts, because most of the time you're riding, you're not using it in that case scenario. Now, if you're a person to where you just want all the power all the time, you're gonna actually use it, then 100% I get it. Get the bike that has the most power at the time. If you're somebody that likes to modify, this bike has all the bells and whistles that everything else does and more. It has all the options, has a bunch of options for things that are currently on the market that you can upgrade your bike with. So don't judge a book by its cover just because it has this one thing that another one doesn't. Do you actually need that? Think about that before you buy. Let's warp back to the studio and we'll wrap this thing up. All right, what do you guys think of the SRPNT X3? Is it the bike for you? I had a lot of fun on this. I went around 21 miles, as you can see up in the corner here, and had 50% battery life left when I got back. And this is a 38.4 amp hour battery. I know that percentages are always a little bit off, so it could degrade a lot faster at the lower 50%. I'm gonna get out and ride it some more and figure out if the lower 50% drains a lot faster. But I would say you can get probably 40 miles of fun riding, a couple top speed runs, a lot of blasting around, a couple little wheelies, stuff like that, very easily on this bike. I would say if you're cruising in eco mode, you can probably see in an excess of 50 miles. Or if you're just not heavy on the throttle, you could definitely probably get more than 40 miles out of this bike. And that's pretty good for this bike. When it has a 38 amp hour battery, I mean, most bikes that have around 38 amp hours, they're struggling to get 30 to 35 miles, especially if you're riding aggressively at all. But this bike was a ton of fun. One thing that did stand out is it does sound really cool. It has that really like loud TIE Fighter, Star Wars sound. The other thing for me that stood out a lot was the quality of this build. There's a lot of attention to detail and they have definitely outdone themselves for the price of this bike and all the features that you get. They're still one of the rare few companies that offers multiple different colors of frames. It has the new KKE suspension with the larger brakes, the LED lights. It's just a good bike. And the real question is this bike for you? There's a bike for everyone, and every single one has its differences, just like we do. We all ride differently, from dirt to street to trails. So I hope that I answered all the questions that you may have about the Serpent. This is a very underrated bike in my opinion. There's a ton of brands out there now. A lot of them get passed up by other brands that are just more popular. So when it comes to affordability, quality, reliability, I would say that Serpent is up at the top. So if you have any more questions whatsoever, drop in the comments below or reach out to us at revrides.com/contact. And if you're ever in the area, come and ride with us. Peace.